Maiyang Island, West Sea of Korea, 2:43 p.m., broad daylight, blazing sun. 12 U.S. Force Recon Marines, one classified reconnaissance mission, infiltrated onto North Korean island to verify intelligence about underground nuclear weapons facility. A facility the world didn't know existed until today. The Marines discovered it, photographed it, transmitted evidence to U.S. Pacific Command. But then, North Korean security forces surrounded them. 200 soldiers, 30 vehicles, attack helicopters overhead. Searchlights unnecessary, perfect visibility in afternoon sun. Kim Jong-un himself gave the order from Pyongyang. Capture the American spies, execute them at sunset, broadcast it to the world. Show America what happens when they violate our sovereignty. North Korea's plan was simple. 12 Marines, trapped, outnumbered, isolated on an island, no escape. Public execution at 6 p.m., sunset, maximum propaganda effect. But Kim Jong-un made 5 catastrophic mistakes. First, those 12 Marines were Force Recon, the most elite operators in the Marine Corps. Second, they had defensive positions prepared on the island's northern cliffs. Third, USS America, carrying 2,000 Marines, was 40 nautical miles offshore. Fourth, 6th Fleet had already authorized full combat rescue operation. Fifth, the President of the United States was watching via satellite feed and said 2 words: get them. What happened in the next 3 hours and 17 minutes became the most daring Marine rescue operation in broad daylight and the most humiliating North Korean military disaster in history. This is that story. Maiyang Island, 42 square kilometers, West Sea of Korea, officially uninhabited, but satellite image.
Última hora, hace 2 minutos.
Oh, it's hitting town. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's hitting stuff.
¿Y si lo que comenzó en el lago Mead no fuera solo un
Became the most daring Marine rescue operation in broad daylight and the most humiliating North Korean military disaster in history. This is that story. Maiyang Island, 42 square kilometers, West Sea of Korea, officially uninhabited.
Puedo creer lo que aguanta mi marido en la cama ahora con este nuevo Viagra genérico de 87 centavos. Él se
At 09:23 hours on June 14, 2025, the USS Princeton was conducting another routine freedom of navigation patrol in the South China Sea when her spy radar painted something that would nearly start World War III. A Chinese-type O-52D destroyer that had been loitering at 200 kilometers just as she suddenly accelerated from 18 to 30 knots in under 90 seconds. Unknown to the Americans, the Jiangshang's captain had just received orders from Beijing. Intercept the Americans and make them blink first. But Beijing was about to learn why challenging the U.S. Navy in open water remains a spectacularly stupid idea. The Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, you see here, had been doing what American sailors have done best for 75 years, keeping the world's most important sea lanes open so Chinese factories could sell their cheap electronics to Best Buy. They were 180 nautical miles from the nearest Chinese territory in international waters, where $3.4 trillion in annual trade flows like clockwork. The strike group's mission was textbook freedom of navigation. predictable course, transparent intentions, and the kind of professional conduct that separates real navies from floating militia. At 0926, the target classification was complete. The radar operators had positively identified a Type 052D destroyer of the Chinese Navy with a threat moderate to high. Inside the Princeton's Combat Information Center, the tactical action officer watched the Chinese destroyer's vector with the calm that comes from having 122 vertical launch cells loaded with enough firepower to turn any Chinese ship into fish food. The spy radar, the world's most advanced naval sensor, painted a picture so clear you could point out every detail of the enemy ship. At the Chinese destroyer's current speed, he'd reach weapons engagement range in exactly 17 minutes. The math was simple but terrifying for the Chinese. Her YJ-18 anti-ship missiles could cover the remaining distance in under 4 minutes once launched, but the Princeton's SM-6s in surface mode could reach about 240 nautical miles and swat them like flies. At 0929, the captain wanted to know the probable intent of the Chinese ship. The answer was obvious. At current speed and heading, she'd be within weapons release range in 14 minutes. The recommendation was to go to general quarters. The captain's response was pure American confidence. Let's see how badly they want to embarrass themselves first. That's even if they could get there safely. The South China
What's up, man?
was packed with merchant traffic. 46 commercial vessels
Watching the news from the World War III is coming. World War III. What do you think? We're gonna have a World War III. Jay, what's up, Jay? Stish, my love. Stish lover. What's up, Tish lover? What's up? How you guys doing? Look at that.
Most advanced aircraft adjusted her flight operations with the precision of a Swiss watch. The destroyers.
That's what I'm watching right now.
Shifted positions to take station
See
around
what's
the
going
carrier
on.
that would turn any Chinese attack into a one-way trip to the bottom.
It's bad out there.
0935. The tactical picture went from concerning to dangerous. The E-2D Hawkeye orbiting at 25,000
Just,
feet.
it's coming. Watch that video. Watch.
400 miles, detected multiple aircraft
I don't think I can show it in here on YouTube, right? I cannot do it on TikTok because I'm suspended. I don't know here. Can you see it?
As if they actually stood a chance. The air controllers immediately noticed something hilarious. The J-15s were struggling to gain altitude, likely due to fuel limitations from the ski jump launch system the Chinese were
It's
so
coming
proud of.
China
A minute later,
versus
sonar
USA.
operators added the final piece of China's coordination.
Guarantee.
They detected a possible submerged contact
People realize
40
don't know a little bit about this what's going on.
consistent with a Type 039 diesel electric submarine. The funny part,
This is fucking
the thing was
serious
making
shit, man.
noise like a freight train. Any competent
People
submarine
playing too
would
much,
have been
but
mortified.
China's ready.
The Chinese weren't just being aggressive. They were orchestrating a multi-domain
They're aggressive. They're mad.
intimidation
They're
campaign
mad.
with equipment that belonged in a
AM
museum.
12.
Surface ships
AM.
from the 1990s.
What time is that
Carrying
there?
aircraft that couldn't carry a full weapons load, and submarines so
12
loud they
a.m.
might as well be
or p.m.?
broadcasting their position on AM
12
radio.
p.m.
It was textbook bullying, the kind that only works if your target is too weak or too scared to fight back. Unfortunately for Beijing, they just challenged the wrong Navy in the wrong ocean. The U.S. Navy had been perfecting blue water dominance since 1914. And these Chinese forces
Oh,
were
AM?
about to receive
So
a
where are you?
lesson in why the American
Spain?
Navy reigned supreme. By 0937, the USS Nimitz flight deck erupted into controlled chaos that only American carriers had truly mastered. FA-18E Super Hornets from BFA-14 top hatters rocketed off the catapult
Drink cereal milk.
5-second intervals. A ballet of precision that Chinese carriers, depending on inefficient ski jumps, could only dream of matching. Steam billowed from the catapult tracks as American naval aviation did what it does best: project power. The first division of Super Hornets climbed through 15,000 feet. Their AN APG-79 ASA radars already painting the incoming J-15s at maximum range. The technological mismatch was almost unfair. The APG-79's 1,100 transmit-receive modules could track dozens of targets simultaneously.
Yeah,
The
talk too
J-15's
much.
mechanically scanned radar swept back and forth like a lighthouse, broadcasting its position to anyone listening.
I had to hide
The
this too,
J-15s
block
were
his
striving
ass.
for altitude, a painful reminder of the Shandong ski jump limitations. Without catapults, they launched with reduced fuel and weapons loads. They were climbing hard to gain an energy advantage, but burning fuel at a faster rate. Meanwhile, the American fighters, launched in full combat weight, had fuel to spare and carried hands rated E for everyone. However, the weapon and fuel
Did you experience inappropriate behavior from a bishop, church leader, or member at any LDS church when you were younger?
No, acá hay uno.
Escuchemos al presidente Donald Trump a esta hora en una conferencia de prensa histórica.
Agradezco que estén aquí.
Late last night
Anoche,
and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces
las Fuerzas Armadas de los Estados Unidos,
operation in the capital,
en esta operación militar en la capital de Venezuela,
overwhelming American military power, air,
con
land, and
un
sea, which
poder
is
avasallador de los Estados Unidos.
assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen
Y
since.
esto es algo que nunca había visto anteriormente,
It was a force
desde la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
fortified military fortress
Es una fortaleza militar.
to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
Sacamos al dictador Nicolás Maduro y lo vamos a llevar a la justicia. Y esto
Effective and powerful
ha
displays
sido
of American
algo que nos llama mucho la atención.
in American history.
Ha sido algo único en la historia de los Estados Unidos,
Historia de los
Good
Estados
ones like
Unidos.
the attack on Soleimani,
como el ataque a
El
Soleimani
ataque
attack on al-Baghdadi,
y también en al-Baghdadi.
obliteration and decimation
También
of
con
the Iran
respecto
nuclear sites.
a cómo
Just
hemos
recently,
sacado a
an
todas
operation known as
las
Midnight Hammer,
instalaciones
all perfectly executed and done.
que han sido ejecutadas, todas las instalaciones nucleares, y que lo que se ha logrado en Estados Unidos, lo que Estados Unidos ha logrado ha sido único y ha sido algo que realmente es destacable, donde nosotros podemos decir que se ha hecho un trabajo sin igual y se ha capturado a Maduro durante la noche.
Lights of Caracas were
Y
largely turned off.
las luces de Caracas se apagaron
With certain expertise that
con
we
cierta
had,
expertise que teníamos.
and it was deadly.
Pusimos en oscuridad total a
Captured
Caracas.
along with his wife,
Fue capturado junto a su esposa,
Celia Flores,
Celia Flores.
both of whom
Ambos
now face American justice.
van a enfrentar la
Maduro
justicia
and Flores have
norteamericana.
been indicted in the Southern
Maduro y
District of
Flores
New York.
Van a ser enjuiciados en el distrito de Nueva York
Narcoterrorism against the
por
United States.
acusados por narcoterrorismo contra los Estados Unidos y todos sus ciudadanos. Quisiera agradecer a todos y cada uno de los que trabajaron en este éxito que se logró en la noche, de poder llegar a este nivel, con un nivel de competencia único. Trabajaron muy bien
Wow.
y
crazy.
no fue una vergüenza como lo que ha ocurrido en Afganistán o en otros lugares, en otros días, en otras épocas. Así que nosotros somos un país como nunca antes. Estamos trabajando en colaboración con los organismos de seguridad de los Estados Unidos. Estamos en una muy buena posición y estamos en espera. Estamos en espera en esta posición Estamos
very quickly incapacitated.
en capacidad de poder decir de que fueron deshabilitados, que fueron inmovilizados,
Not a single American service member
y
was
también
killed, and not a
ningún
single piece of
miembro
American equipment was lost.
de los Estados Unidos o equipos se perdieron.
Many people involved in that fight.
Muchas personas involucradas en esa lucha. No se perdió nada, ni siquiera un equipo, y nadie fue muerto. Así que Estados Unidos es el país más fuerte del planeta, con una capacidad y unas habilidades únicas. Tenemos los mejores equipos del mundo. No hay nadie que se pueda comparar a nosotros. Y como ustedes pueden ver, 97% de las drogas que llegan por mar fueron detenidas. Nosotros trabajamos. Tenemos la muerte de miles de personas por esas drogas, las drogas que estaban siendo llevadas a los Estados Unidos desde Venezuela. Nosotros podemos hacer un trabajo adecuado. Nosotros tuvimos esta situación por muchos años. Vamos a manejar el país hasta que se pueda llegar a una transición segura.